there's been a lot of discussion, talk, arguments between politics and COVID these days, and I think perhaps lost in that is talking about Advent, and we're in the season of Advent, and perhaps it's time to refresh or reinvigorate that discussion about the season we are in, which is at the moment a little more important, or takes their mind off of some of the hostilities we're living with in the current social environment.
And then several years back, I became extremely convicted that we as a church, at Lake Oconee Community Church, need to follow the liturgical calendar. Part of the reason there is that it helps you keep a rhythm that's determined by something other than just the context, other than just society as a whole. I found way too many preachers, especially those of us who may not be in a certain religious tradition and be part of a hierarchy. Oftentimes we just kind of preach on whatever we were interested in or whatever was impacting us at the day. And I felt like that was not a smart thing to do, that I needed some authority beyond myself to determine what should you be preaching about, what are the themes. And so the liturgical calendar gives preachers this kind of model of a full year and how the year flows. And sometimes it is congruent with society's calendar and sometimes it's not. And Advent is a time of waiting. Even though society has already got the Christmas gifts out and the Christmas trees out and the decorating the music and everything, for the Christian church, Advent is a time to wait for the manger. And so we are anticipating December 25th at this point. We're not celebrating December 25th. So there's a nuanced difference there because you really do have what we call the 12 days of Christmas. We really should be following along with the popular song that the first day of Christmas is December 25th, and then we have 11 more days after that to continue to celebrate the Christmas dynamic in the Christmas season. So we have time to celebrate after December 25th. And so prior to December 25th, it really is incumbent on the church to be preparing ourselves for that event. It was interesting, I heard a sermon just last week from an individual who really talked about we don't fully appreciate Advent if we don't feel like we need to be saved, if we need a Savior. You know, one of the popular hymns is, O come, Emmanuel, ransom captive Israel. If you don't feel you're in captivity, then you're not going to appreciate the manger nearly as much as those of us who do feel like we're in captivity and we need a Savior and we need to be saved. So it's an interesting piece that we really develop that during Advent so that we're really ready with the right mind and the right heart to appreciate the baby in Bethlehem and the incarnation, God coming into this world to truly be with us and to save us as part of it. So it just really magnifies the significance of that event.
I remember as a child having the Advent, we had the Advent card and the calendar and the, you know, I mean, it was, and I think I told you we lived back east when I was a child in New Jersey. And we didn't put up our Christmas tree till Christmas Eve.
And that actually is probably a better practice for the Christian church. And then keep it up for 12 days would probably be the ideal way of doing it. I don't necessarily expect people to do that because, well, the marketing of it kind of keeps it prevented from happening. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that really is a strong kind of model to do.
But it is interesting having been, brought up that way, even as a young child. It's still resident. It's been years since, but still, even my wife and I will have arguments sometimes when we put up the Christmas tree.
When Nancy grew up Lutheran, did you grow up Lutheran?
I grew up Methodist.
Oh, Methodist.
Yeah. So, but it is interesting because I'm always going. We don't. I'll put it up a week before, and then we got to 2 weeks, and I finally said, well, if I want the marriage to last.
Well, and the neighbors.
Everybody else is decorated.